Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, finally responded to a proposed price cap in the West in recent remarks. He issued a decree that as of February 1st prevents nations that adhere to the cap from obtaining crude oil and petroleum products. Russia's special military operation in Ukraine has resulted in the G7, EU, and Australia agreeing in December to a ceiling on the price of Russian seaborne crude oil at $60 per barrel. The ceiling is quite close to the going rate for oil in Russia right now. However, the price is far lower than the windfall price Russia was able to sell this year, which helped mitigate the effects of economic sanctions on Moscow. What does this new price cap imply for these countries and the entire industry? Hello guys! To learn more about this, sit back and wait until the very end. Let's start, and don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons below. First of all, it's important to keep in mind that after Saudi Arabia, Russia is the second largest oil exporter in the world. Therefore, a significant decline in its sales would have a profound impact on the world's ability to produce electricity. The most recent decree was published on both the Kremlin website and a website owned by the government. It was also established as a direct response to the United Nations and the foreign states and international organizations backing them, being unfriendly and hostile to international law. According to the mandate, this takes effect on February 1, 2023 and is in effect until July 1, 2023. Putin is also given permission to make exceptions to the rule in certain situations, according to the document. Crude oil shipments are forbidden starting on February 1, but the timing of the oil goods embargo will be determined by the Russian government, and it might not take effect until after February 1. Even during the Cold War between the West and the Soviet Union, the price cap in December was unheard of. The Russian government's finances and Moscow's military operations in Ukraine are its intended targets. Some experts believe that the cap won't save a short-term impact on Moscow's oil revenue. However, Russia's finance minister, ANTON has issued a warning that the nation's deficit in 2023 at 2% of GDP may be worse than initially projected. The oil price cap has also decreased Moscow's export income, posing an additional financial challenge at a time when Russia is heavily investing in its military operation in Ukraine. For weeks, Russia has been promised a formal response, and the final judgment largely supported what the government had previously said in the open. Due to the G7 price cap, nations outside of the EU may continue to import Russian crude oil by sea. However, shipping, insurance, and reinsurance firms won't be able to handle shipments of Russian crude anywhere in the world until it is sold for significantly less than the price cap. The purchase of Russian oil sent by sea is prohibited due to embargoes imposed by specific EU member states. Additionally, the cost of a barrel of Urals-produced oil from Russia exceeded the ceiling at $56, which is below. The price of Brent crude oil also rose on the report, and by 1743 GMT, it had reached $85.1, which is a gain of 1.4%. Now, Italy, a group of 7 nations, already experienced high gas prices in 2022. In fact, the cost of gas for individual households increased by over 65% last year. Russia's ban on oil exports may therefore make things more difficult for Italy. According to the national energy watchdog ARERA, the average gas cost for an Italian family increased 64.8% in 2022 over the previous year. The regulator of gas prices in Italy, ARERA, reported a 23.3% increase from November to December. In addition, prices rose early in December before falling later in the month. A typical household's annual gas expenditure was estimated to be around €1,866 or $1,968.63. Marco Vignola, an energy expert and spokesman for the National Consumers Union, recently declared that current prices were unsustainable for too many Italians and urged the government to take action. Additionally, the budget for Italy for 2023 includes more than 21 billion euros in subsidies for residential and commercial energy costs. Subsidies for low-income households and energy-intensive businesses will provide the majority of the assistance. Since late 2022, rather than every 3 months, ARERA has set regulated gas prices on a monthly basis. It's because of market uncertainties related to a gas supply that is brought on by the conflict in Ukraine. In an effort to stop further price increases, member states of the European Union agreed to set a cap on the price of gasoline in December 2022. And after Russia invaded Ukraine and cut off the supply, the European market rose to record highs. Before we continue, please give a thumbs up if you are enjoying this video so far. And stay tuned until the very end to find out more about Russia's restriction of oil shipments. Now, worries about the world economy have caused the price of oil to further drop. Following a prior session decline that was also influenced by concerns about demand, oil prices fell significantly to start the year. These concerns have been sparked by the state of the global economy at the moment as well as the rise in COVID cases in China. By 14:52 GMT, Brent futures had lost $3.04 or 3.7% to reach $79.06 per barrel. Additionally, the cost of U.S. crude oil dropped by $3.80 or 3.8% to $74.02. Both benchmarks fell by more than 4%, with Brent experiencing its worst one-day drop in more than 3 months. Stephen Brannock, a PVM oil analyst, believes that the state of the world economy will continue to dominate his thoughts for the foreseeable future. Additionally, as part of the initial round of adjustments, the Chinese government increased the export cap for refined oil products for 2023. Additionally, this is a sign that domestic demand will be low. The largest oil exporter in the world, Saudi Arabia, may lower prices for its distinctive Arab Light crude grade to Asia in February 2023. The target price for this month is at a 10-month low, and concerns about an excess supply have kept the market hazy. The IMF director also forecasted that 2023 would be a difficult year for a large portion of the world economy. This is because the world's 3 main growth engines, the United States, Europe, and China, were all experiencing a slowdown in economic activity. The importance of monetary policy is also highlighted. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 75 basis points for 4 straight months before raising them by 50 basis points in December. A more aggressive Fed policy regarding rate hikes could stifle economic growth and lower fuel demand. Additionally, an early this month Reuters poll showed that OPEC oil production rose in December. Despite an agreement between OPEC and its allies to cut output in order to stabilize the market, this took place. Oil production by OPEC members, also known as the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, averaged 29 million barrels per day in December. The study also indicated an increase of 120,000 BPD since November. The dollar weakened on January 4 after sharply strengthening the previous session, supporting oil somewhat. Because consumers using other currencies can now afford to buy goods priced in dollars, oil demand often rises when the dollar falls. The amount of crude oil in American inventories is thought to have increased by 2.2 million barrels. According to Reuters' survey, distillate supplies likely decreased as well. An industry association called the American Petroleum Institute was supposed to release data on U.S. crude inventories on January 4 at 4:30 p.m. On January 5 at 10:30 a.m., statistics from the Energy Information Administration were also made available. In 2023, WTI prices are expected to hit $107 per barrel and Brent prices to reach $110. What do you think of Russia's response to the G7 imposed sanctions and how they are impacting the world's oil and gas industry now? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Fred. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. Now, have you heard that ChatGPT can make it easier to launch a new business? If you're interested in it, Click and watch the next video here to know more.